Look at the piece of paper in your wallet. You call it money. Your parents told you to save it. Your teachers told you to work hard for it. But the people who actually print it, the people sitting at the very top of the financial food chain, they do not call it money. They call it currency. And they know something that you do not. They know that this paper is an illusion. It is a depreciating liability disguised as a store of value. Today, I am going to tell you the most dangerous financial truth in the modern world. It is a truth that contradicts everything you were taught in school, everything your banker tells you, and everything the middle class believes. The truth is this: savers are losers. If you are putting your money into a savings account, hoping that compound interest will somehow make you wealthy over the next 40 years, you are participating in a rigged game where the mathematical certainty is your ultimate poverty. You are trying to walk up an escalator that is moving down, and the escalator is accelerating. To understand why you are losing, you have to understand the invisible thief that lives in your bank account. That thief is called inflation, but inflation is not an accident of nature. It is not a weather event. It is a deliberate, engineered policy. In 1971, the rules of global finance were permanently altered when the United States severed the dollar's tie to gold. Before 1971, money had to be backed by something real, something tangible. It was tethered to the physical world. But the moment that tether was cut, money ceased to be money. It became debt. It became fiat. It became a political tool that could be printed infinitely at the push of a button. And when you can print infinite amounts of currency, the currency that you hold in your hands, the currency you traded thousands of hours of your irreplaceable life to acquire, becomes worth less and less every single day. The system demands inflation to survive because the system is built on an ocean of debt. If they stop printing, the system collapses, so they print. And every time they print, they are silently transferring wealth from your savings account to the owners of real assets. You do not see it on your bank statement. The number stays the same. $10,000 is still $10,000. But the purchasing power of that $10,000 is evaporating. This is the physics of fake money. Yet, what does the education system teach you to do? Go to school, get good grades, get a safe, secure job, and save your money. The education system is not designed to create capitalists. It was designed during the industrial age to create a compliant workforce. It was built to manufacture employees who know how to follow orders, memorize facts, and never question the fundamental structure of the economy. They teach you how to be a specialized cog in a machine owned by someone else. They do not teach you about taxes. They do not teach you about debt. They do not teach you how money works. Why? Because the system requires a massive population of financially illiterate workers who will blindly trade their time for depreciating paper, pay the highest possible tax rates, and deposit their leftover scraps into the banking system so the banks can lend it out at a massive multiple. You are not a player in their game. You are the battery powering their machine. And the ultimate trap they set for you, the crown jewel of middle-class deception, is your home. If you ask the average person what their biggest asset is, they will point to their house. They will look at you with pride and say they own it, or at least they are paying the mortgage on it. Your banker tells you your house is an asset. Your real estate agent tells you it is an asset. Your parents tell you it is an asset. But let me give you the actual brutal accounting definition of an asset. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket every single month, whether you work or not. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket every single month. Now, look at your house. Every month, you pay the mortgage. You pay the property taxes. You pay the insurance. You pay for the leaky roof. You pay for the maintenance. Money is flowing out of your pocket. By the pure mathematical definition of cash flow, your house is not your asset. It is the bank's asset. It puts money in their pocket every month. You are simply the one paying for the privilege of living in their asset. People confuse capital gains with cash flow. They think because the price of the house goes up over 20 years, it is an investment. But that is just inflation pushing the price of real estate up while the value of the currency drops. You did not make money. The money just became worth less. And until you sell that house, you cannot eat that equity. You cannot pay your grocery bill with the theoretical value of your living room. This brings us to the ultimate dividing line between the ultra-rich and everyone else. It is the concept of debt. The middle class is terrified of debt. They are taught to get out of debt, to cut up their credit cards, to pay off their mortgage, to be debt-free. And for the financially uneducated, that is actually good advice because the uneducated only know how to use bad debt. Bad debt is borrowing money to buy liabilities, a new car, a giant television, a vacation, designer clothes, things that lose value the moment you buy them. But the rich do not avoid debt. The rich love debt. The rich use debt to multiply their wealth exponentially. This is the secret language of money. When you understand how to use good debt, the entire financial universe opens up to you. Good debt is borrowing money to buy an asset that pays for the debt itself and puts leftover cash in your pocket. Imagine I borrow $1 million from the bank at a 5% interest rate to buy an apartment building. The building generates enough rental income to pay the bank's interest, pay the maintenance, pay the taxes, and leave me with $10,000 a month in pure profit. I did not use my own money to buy the asset. I used the bank's money. The tenants are paying off the bank's money, and I am collecting the cash flow. And here's the most beautiful part, the part that makes the middle class angry because they do not understand it. Debt is tax-free. When you take out a loan, is that considered income? No. The government cannot tax debt. So while the employee is working 50 hours a week and paying 40% of their income in taxes, the wealthy investor is borrowing millions of dollars tax-free, buying cash-flowing assets, and using the tax code's depreciation and amortization laws to wipe out the taxes on the income those assets produce. The game is heavily rigged, but it is not rigged by some shadowy cabal. It is rigged by the tax code, and the tax code is an open book. It is a set of incentives. The government is literally telling you what they want you to do. They want you to provide housing, so they give you tax breaks for real estate. They want you to create jobs, so they give you tax breaks for building businesses. They do not want you to be an employee, which is why employees pay the highest taxes of anyone in the economy. If you want to escape the trap, you have to fundamentally rewire your brain. You have to undergo a violent psychological shift. You have to stop looking at the world through the eyes of someone who sells their time and start looking at the world through the eyes of an owner. This is the transition across the cash flow quadrant. On the left side of the quadrant, you have the employees and the self-employed. Employees trade their time for a paycheck. The self-employed, like doctors, lawyers, or freelancers, think they own a business, but they really just own a job. If they stop working, their income stops. They are still trading time for money, just at a higher hourly rate. The left side is a world of addition and subtraction. It is linear. It is exhausted. It is taxed to death. The right side of the quadrant is where true wealth lives. This is the realm of the business owner and the investor. A true business owner builds a system. They build a machine that operates independently of their physical labor. If they leave for a year, the business grows without them. They leverage the time and talent of other people. The investor goes even further. The investor leverages money itself. They make their money work for them. They do not care about a salary. They only care about return on investment and cash flow. The right side is a world of multiplication and compounding. It is exponential. It is tax advantaged. To cross from the left to the right, you do not need a new job. You need a new vocabulary. Financial literacy is the ability to read the numbers, to understand the story the numbers are telling you. Most people are financially blind. They look at a balance sheet and see a foreign language. Because they are blind, They rely on financial advisors to tell them what to do. But most financial advisors are just salespeople working for the very institutions that are draining your wealth. They tell you to diversify into mutual funds, to put your money into the stock market casino, and to leave it there for 40 years while they collect their management fees, whether the market goes up or down. They are selling you the illusion of safety while exposing you to massive systemic risk. You must take control of your own financial education. You must learn the difference between fake assets and real assets. Real assets are tangible. Real assets survive crashes. Real assets produce cash flow. Real assets have intrinsic value. This is why the smartest money on earth is quietly accumulating the things that cannot be printed. They are accumulating productive businesses. They are accumulating prime real estate. They are accumulating commodities and precious metals. Look at the history of the world. Every single fiat currency ever created has eventually reverted to its true intrinsic value, which is zero. Paper money always burns. But the elements forged in the earth, the hard assets that require physical energy to extract and refine, those have preserved human purchasing power for thousands of years. They are not investments to get rich quick. They are insurance policies against the madness of central bankers. They are the ultimate financial anchor in a world of floating, manipulated paper. The transition from an employee mindset to an investor mindset is the hardest journey you will ever take because you will have to fight your own biology. Your brain craves the steady drip of a paycheck. It craves the illusion of security. When you step out of the matrix, the people around you will try to drag you back. They will call you reckless. They will say you are taking too much risk. They will tell you that debt is dangerous and that real estate is a bubble. You have to understand that they are speaking from a place of deep conditioning and fear. They are reciting the script they were taught in the industrial era schools. You cannot save them by arguing with them. You can only save yourself by acting. Start looking at your money not as something to be hoarded, but as something to be deployed. Every dollar that comes into your possession is an employee. If you put it in a bank account, that employee is sleeping on the job while inflation slowly kills it. If you spend it on a liability, you have fired the employee and sent it to work for someone else. But if you invest it in a cash flowing asset, you have put that employee to work, and the cash flow it generates are the children of that employee, and those children can go to work for you too. Soon, you have a massive army of dollars working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never asking for a sick day, never asking for a vacation, just relentlessly capturing more territory and expanding your financial empire. The cage is open. The mathematics of wealth have never been a secret. They have just been obscured by the noise of the financial entertainment industry. Stop consuming the noise. Stop playing by the rules written by the people who print the paper. Educate your mind, acquire real assets, learn the power of leverage, and step into the reality of true financial independence. The old world is dying. The savers are being wiped out. The question is not whether the system will change, but whether you will be the one owning the assets when the dust settles, or the one left holding worthless paper, wondering where all your hard work went.